You're listening to The World at 8 with Lynn Mozart. The World at 8, the number one in nationalist news.
Highlights of the news today, Saturday the 22nd of February 2014. White victim of black teenagers disgusted at their sentences. Traffic warden racially abused in Nelson, Lancashire. Bail for illegal immigrants from Italian lorry. A sham marriage every hour in the UK. More than 7,500 fake ceremonies reported, but just 90 people thrown out of the country. 6 out of 10 Romanian and Bulgarian immigrants claimed self-employed status. 10 Dutch youngsters refused passports over Syria jihad fears. Italy, bomb defused outside Northern League offices in Modena. Thought for the day, very short and very sweet. And finally, a very, very naughty joke for adults. UK news. White victim of black teenagers disgusted at their sentences. A passenger attacked by 3 teenagers after he asked them to stop pressing the bell on a night bus hit out after they were allowed to walk free from court. Bronson Maisey, 40, had his front tooth knocked out in the assault on the N25 bus to Stratford when the trio pounced on him. In front of a dozen other passengers he was punched and slapped and had to cling to a pole as his attackers tried to drag him off the bus. The 3 teenagers ran off but were tracked down by police following appeals for information. Shaqueil Samuels, 19, Abebambo Karumwi, 18 and Roland Mubenga, 19 were sentenced at Snaresbrook Crown Court this week. The court heard how Samuels had repeatedly punched a passenger on a train going from Ilford to Liverpool Street just 3 days before his attack on Mr Maisey. Samuels of Manor Park pleaded guilty to 2 charges of assault causing actual bodily harm and was handed a 2-year suspended sentence and ordered to complete 200 hours of unpaid work and pay his 2 victims £500 each. Mubenga of Gants Hill and Karumwi, also of Manor Park, were convicted of 1 account each of causing ABH. Mubenga received a 1-year suspended sentence and Karumwi 15 months, also suspended. They were ordered to do 100 hours unpaid work and pay Mr Maisey £500 each. Mr Maisey from Walthamstow told the Standard, "At the end of the day £500 is nothing and won't teach them. It isn't a just sentence. It doesn't cover my dental work at all. I've already spent a couple of £100 on the dentist and I need an implant. Realistically, they've cost me my job and my relationship. I didn't go to work for a couple of months because I was really self-conscious of the gap in my teeth and the attack made me miserable and led to a breakup." World at 8. And for general information, they're all as black as the Ace of Spades. Why are they even over here? They are hardly professional anything except violent criminals. What benefit to the UK do they serve? Black on white crime punishment is a laugh. Traffic warden racially abused in Nelson, Lancashire. A father of 3 hurled a torrent of racist abuse at a traffic warden after he was booked, then tried to stick his ticket on the victim's chest, a court heard. Mohammed Nawaz, who had a young child with him, don't they all, launched into a frightening rant at Liam West in front of a crowd in Nelson town centre, branding him scum and telling him all white people are horrible. Burnley Crown Court was told how Nawaz had been alleged to have deferred to Lee Rigby, the Fusilier killed in Woolwich, and to have threatened death to soldiers in Afghanistan, but denied making those comments. Nawaz, 31, has 17 previous offences on his record and in 2012 was convicted after he threatened to petrol bomb a butcher's shop. He was given a community order with 70 hours unpaid work and a 12-month restraining order banning contact with Mr West. World at 8. Oh dear, what a terrible punishment. If the situation was reversed, the poor bugger would have narrowly escaped the death sentence. Remember the bit of pork at the mosque? Nawaz and brats deported now. Bail for illegal immigrants from Italian lorry. Police closed part of the A27 on the 18th of February after a lorry was found with half a dozen suspected illegal immigrants hiding inside. The Italian registered lorry pulled into a lay-by to stop off at the burger van. As the driver was about to pull away, other people in the lay-by heard shouting and banging coming from the rear of the lorry. Police were called and quickly sealed off the road westbound between the McDonald's roundabout in Chichester and the Tangmere junction. Eyewitnesses said 10 police cars and dozens of officers with sniffer dogs escorted people out of the back of the lorry, which is believed to have come in via Calais. In a statement, Sussex Police said, at 12:45 p.m. on Tuesday, February 18th, police attended the A27 at Tangmere near Chichester and arrested 6 people suspected of attempting to enter the UK illegally. They were found in the cargo area of an Italian registered lorry, and the westbound A27 was temporarily closed while the incident was dealt with. 6 Eritrean nationals were arrested, all of whom were subsequently questioned by immigration officials. 4 men aged between 23 and 29 have been placed on immigration bail while their cases are progressed. They face removal from the country if found to have no leave to remain. A man aged 24 and a woman aged 28 remain in immigration detention. A Home Office spokesman said, "When suspected illegal immigrants are found on lorries and arrested by police, we respond quickly. We work closely with police to tackle illegal immigration. Where someone is found to have no legal right to remain in the UK, we will get action to remove them." World at 8. These numbers are pathetic. Pay monkeys, get peanuts. A sham marriage every hour in the UK. More than 7,500 fake ceremonies reported, but just 90 people thrown out of the country. One sham marriage may be happening in the UK every single hour. Shocking figures revealed last night. Official figures show that between January and October last year, a total of 7,606 fake weddings were reported to the Home Office. Yet despite the huge scale of the problem, just 90 people were deported over the same period for engaging in forced marriages to gain entry to the UK. It means that for every 85 sham marriages, just one person is being thrown out of the country. World at 8. Sham marriages have been in the UK for the last 30 years, just getting more so, like everything else concerned with immigration and foreigners. We need to police the registry offices to monitor this and stop it. 6 out of 10 Romanian and Bulgarian immigrants claim self-employed status. Oxford University report highlights how tens of thousands of workers from the 2 former communist states claimed freelance status, winning wider access to benefits. Nearly 6 out of 10 Romanian and Bulgarian immigrants living in Britain last year claimed they were self-employed, allowing them full access to the welfare state, a new report has found. European news. 10 Dutch youngsters refused passports over Syria jihad fears. 10 Dutch youngsters have so far been refused a passport because the security services suspect they may be planning to go to Syria, our Dutch counter-terrorism unit NCTV told The Telegraph. The 10 include an 18-year-old girl from Maastricht who has converted to Islam and wants to travel to Syria with her husband. The girl had expressed her support for terrorism on social media and was on an official watch list. Dutch? No, sorry. World at 8? Dutch? They're not Dutch. Italy. Bomb defused outside Northern League offices in Modena. Bitonci says threats won't deter political party from agenda. Police were investigating Friday after a crude bomb was defused outside the offices of the regionalist Northern League political party in Modena. The bomb, comprised of 3 sticks of explosives wired together, was defused by police experts after its discovery Thursday night, and the investigators are now looking for motives in the threat. A similar bomb threat was reported last week in the centre of Modena, and the area was evacuated as police dealt with a suspicious black bag that was later found to contain packages of salt. Massimo Bitonci, a League senator, called Thursday night's threat incredible violence that could have killed many. It could have been a massacre as the bomb was set before a meeting of the League members, he said. The threat will not deter the League from its agenda of promoting Italy's northern area while challenging regulations imposed by the European Union as a condition of the country's membership in the EU, he said. No one will stop us. Obviously someone fears us for our ideas and our battles against the euro and against immigration, he said. World news. No, not forgotten, just nothing, apart from Kiev, and that solved itself. So, thought for the day. Very short and very sweet. Now, just to re-sign my badge of realist, I sat in a coffee house up in Aylesbury yesterday. The circumstances are personal and affect a family member who was in court that day. Not feeling at my best, of course, I bought a coffee and waited and waited. Outside was the local market, and in that market and visiting that market were the swathe of ethnics. Now some of my critics would say, how lovely and colourful, and I should be feeling all warm and fuzzy, but I wasn't. And I became increasingly agitated when the back of my chair was pushed and clumped and a clan of what can only be described as roamers plonked themselves down. At first 2 were evident, both brought a small coffee and then their voices took off. The entire next hour was filled with almost yelling in a foreign tongue in my ear. Then 3 more joined them and brought nothing to drink or eat. The noise was still at decibel levels. During this time an Asian appeared, well dressed and either from the totally Asian taxi rank nearby or the market, and the middle-aged Roma woman, obviously in charge of this group, peeled off a wad of notes from a very large bundle of the same produced from somewhere on her cavernous personage and handed it to the Asian guy, who left. What got me was, 1, that it is the Asians who are cashing in on the Romas, renting homes to them and handling their sex trade, and that secondly these particular Eastern Europeans had no respect for any of the Brits around or the fact they were not in their own country. Aylesbury used to be a charming market town in the heart of the Chilterns, very upmarket, but now resembles all small towns around the south, heavily enriched. And this is the problem. Our problem in the UK is that immigration has never been monitored or checked by our authorities, and it is open season for the UK and to some extent our larger neighbours in Europe. Immigration is like advantages, once taken it never stops. Immigrants don't feel they are under any obligation at all to rein in their breeding or stop bringing in huge amounts of their fellow clans to take us over. And this applies to all colours and all creeds, and let's face it, they all come here. I personally don't care what colour they are, what history we might have or might not have had with them, their state of living in their own home country, or any possibility they might be in danger if they return, because the simple fact is that we are in danger in this country now because there are too many of them and too little of us. Fact. Another salutary fact for all people who feel sympathy for them or a certain tribe is that most, if not all these immigrants from whenever don't give a tinker's cuss for us or the people who want to hug 'em. With our ever reducing police force and armed services, the chance of hugging a nignog might be nearer than you think, and it won't be pleasant. Immigration is not a personal right or a tribal right. We need to fortify our borders and stop pontificating on the rights and wrongs, because these people are not. And this country is having the piss taken in a big way, and we don't need liberal or personal feelings to consider. After watching the financial liaison between migrants as I did yesterday, that was the cherry on the cake for me firsthand. Watch and learn, my friends. Watch and learn. And finally, adult joke. This is a naughty joke and should offend mainly Church of England, of which I am one, although I did think I could make it an imam, rabbi or priest, but I didn't. But if you like, substitute whatever you want. It is called bastard. Girl: I've sinned. I called my boyfriend a bastard. Vicar: Well now, that's not a nice thing to call anyone. So what did he do to deserve that? Girl: Well, he kissed me. Vicar: You mean like this? The vicar kissed the girl. Girl: Yes. Vicar: Well, that's no reason to call him a bastard. Girl: But he put his hand in my top. Vicar: You mean like this? The vicar put his hand in the girl's top. Girl: Yeah. Vicar: Well, that's no reason to call him a bastard. Girl: But he took my clothes off. Vicar: You mean like this? And the vicar removed the girl's clothes. Girl: Yes. Vicar: Well, that's no reason to call him a bastard. Girl: But he had sex with me. Vicar: You mean like this? And the vicar had sex with the girl. The girl: Yes. Vicar: Well, that's no reason to call him a bastard. Girl: But then he told me he has AIDS. Vicar: Bastard. You've been listening to The World at 8. We'll be back to normal listening times next week. I'm Lynn Mozart and I and the team at World at 8 and Radio Britain wish you all a very happy and a very safe and dry weekend.